All right, gearheads, buckle up. Welcome back to the channel, where we dig up the forgotten legends, the sleeper hits, and the nearly lost icons of performance cars. Today, we're traveling back to the 1990s, when t-shirts were neon, phones were bricks, and car makers thought, hey, let's build something weird and fast and hope it sells. We're talking about performance cars from the 1990s everyone forgot. These are the rides that, for whatever reason, slipped through the cracks, while their contemporaries stole the limelight. So yes, we'll talk about obscure names, weird specs, and yes, you can still find some of these for dirt cheap. If you like deep dives, rare gems, and nostalgic vibes, hit subscribe, ring the bell, and let's start the engine. First, a quick overview. The 1990s were the let's see what sticks era in performance cars. Engines were getting smarter, fuel injection, ECU tuning, all that jazz. But budgets were still weird. So you got some cars that were technically impressive, but marketing, production, or design just didn't click. And while we remember big names like the Toyota Supra MK4, Nissan Skyline R34, or the Mazda RX-7 FD for good reason, there were dozens of quieter gems and misfits. We're exploring the underdogs, cars that had legit performance or unique setups, but are rarely talked about today. Car number 1, the Dodge Stealth RT Turbo. You've heard the name maybe, but you don't really see them around. This twin-turbo all-wheel drive beast was essentially a sibling to the Mitsubishi 3000 GT, packing serious tech for the era. 0 to 60 times well under 5 seconds in top spec. Yet it didn't burn up the headlines. Why forgotten? Probably branding confusion, Dodge/Mitsubishi tie-in, cost, and maybe just the Supra/Skylines overshadowing it. What made the Stealth Turbo so special? All-wheel drive, Mitsubishi turbo power, but also a rather hefty curb weight. And don't forget that we've got our own History of the 3000 GT, Rise and Fall of the VR4 video, linked in the description below. Of course, if you love JDM long-form videos like this, hit that like and subscribe button. Fun fact, we've just hit 3,000 subscribers. Woohoo! Car 1.5. Honorary mention goes to one of our personal favorites, the SRT-4. The SRT-4 was a car so angry, it sounded like it was arguing with you every time you hit boost. Everyone slept on this turbo brick of chaos, but real ones know. It punched way above its weight and embarrassed cars way out of its price class. Yeah, it looked like a rental, but it pulled like a felony. We've got a full deep dive on the SRT-4's rise, fall, and underrated glory. Check out the Pro Street TV video in the description below. Car number 3, the Mercedes-Benz C36 AMG. Hold on, yes, a Merc. Before every AMG had 500+ horsepower and hood vents, there was this 90s gem. 276 horsepower in 1995, from a 3.6-liter inline-six in the C-Class platform. Sleek, stealthy, fast for its time. Why it doesn't show up on everyone's 90s performance cars list? Because when you think 90s performance, you think pop-ups and tuned Toyotas, not subtle German luxury with hidden bite. Worth checking out. The handling improvements, the status factor, and for the collector who doesn't want obvious. Car number 4, the Jeep Grand Cherokee 5.9 Limited. Yes, an SUV. Slow your roll. This was the OG performance SUV of the 90s. 5.9-liter V8, 245 horsepower, 345 pound-feet of torque. In a time when SUVs were still potato wagons. Why it's on the list? Because it broke the stereotype. Why it's forgotten? Because it wasn't a Ferrari, and the concept of fast SUV pretty much got demolished by later generations. Fun fact, if you find one in good shape, you've got a rare 90s performance SUV with serious torque. Car number 5, the Vector M12. Now we go deep. Produced 1996 to 1999, only approximately 17 units. Mid-engine, Lamborghini V12 power, wild looks. Why forgotten? Limited numbers, messy company history, and overshadowed by Lamborghini exotics with bigger names. But in the forgotten 90s performance car zone, exactly the kind of halo we're hunting. Okay, why dig into these? Because performance isn't just about bottom line 0 to 60 numbers or latest EV takeover. It's about innovation, passion, design that dared to be different. The 1990s were a transitional time. Tech catching up, budgets weird, design bold. Some of these cars failed to stay in the limelight, but left behind mechanical greatness and unique stories. For you, if you're a car fan, a collector, or just love a hidden gem, these cars matter. They're underrated, often undervalued, and come with stories. Plus, nostalgia factor. If you were around in the 90s or just loved the era, there's a cool cachet to knowing these names. Now, some practical bits. Because yes, I know you want to know. How to get in. Start scanning niche classifieds, auctions, forums. Cars like these will often need more maintenance. Parts might be harder. Watch-outs. Some of these had limited production or overseas parts. Reliability secondary to uniqueness. Check condition, service history, rust. Especially in 90s Japanese European imports. Investment angle. Many of these are still undervalued compared to their bigger name siblings. If you spot one that's clean, documented, you might just have a future classic. But remember, buy because you love it, not just to flip it. And yes, Coach Dad brain-friendly tip. Make sure you've got budget for upkeep before you buy one for showdowns at your local rink parking lot. And yes, you will get questions. Honorable mention, the Ford Taurus SHO, the fast dadmobile nobody saw coming. Now hold up before you scroll away thinking, the Taurus, really? Yes, the Ford Taurus SHO, the ultimate undercover agent of 1990s performance sedans. This thing was like Clark Kent in beige, except it had a Yamaha-built V6 under the hood that revved to 7,000 RPM. Back in the late 80s and early 90s, Ford decided it was tired of being bullied by imports. So they called up Yamaha, yes, the motorcycle company, and said, hey, can you make our family sedan faster than the neighbor's BMW? Yamaha said, hold my carburetor. The result? A 3.0-liter and later 3.2-liter DOHC V6 making 220 horsepower, front-wheel drive, and a 5-speed manual gearbox. In a world where most American sedans were wheezing out 140 horsepower and an ashtray. So there you have it. 5, really more performance 90s cars that slipped off most people's radars. Which one surprised you the most? Drop a comment below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, smash that like button. It helps more people find our little corner of car nerd land. And if you want more forgotten performance machines, tell me in the comments what you want to see next. Maybe we dig into the JDM cult cars of the 90s you never heard of. Until next time, keep the revs high and the regrets low. I'm your host, Hope from Pro Street, and I'll see you in the next one.